What doc? Are you talking reference to
the one I was talking about?
Okay, so for the most part, I'm going to try and make sure that we get comments from the text chat vocalized, and so I'll be repeating some stuff that I see there, and if I don't, somebody feel free to bump me so I can do that. So I see voice dots for everybody.
Yeah, I'm seeing dots for everyone here.
So what we're going to go ahead and do is introduce the team of people who have been working on this project, and I think most of them are here. So let's get started with the with the development team, and that let's do alphabetical order. Baker.
Hello.
Baker has been doing our
Yeah, I've been doing the back end, the actual web service of the project.
And then Merav.
Hey, yeah, I'm Merav. I've been working on the client side, the viewer.
And Skylar.
Hi, I'm Skylar, and I work on the marketplace.
Great. Okay, and so then one of the other people that we've had working on this from the front end perspective, along with me, has been Steel Toe. You want to say hi?
Hi, I do user experience design for the viewer.
And then we have QA. Kurt, you want to say hi?
Hey everybody, thanks for coming. I've been testing all features of this project.
Great. And I think that's everybody on the core team who... Oh, wait, no, I see Jeremy. Jeremy, do you want to say hi?
Hi, I wrote the knowledge base article.
So if you have feedback on that, it's helpful to give it here so we can make sure we include things that we might have missed. And then we also have Ziola present as our Second Life community. What is your official title, Ziola?
Actually, I'm lead community manager at Linden Lab, specifically focused on Second Life.
So there we all are, and we also extended the invitation to third-party viewer developers, and my understanding is quite a few of those of you in attendance who aren't Lindens are part of the Firestorm team.
Nice to meet you, Lindens. With exception of you, Zuru, Elke, and Windy, the rest of us are the Firestorm team. Mostly support here, I see. A few devs.
So it's a good opportunity for those of you who are merchants and came to ask questions today. So what I wanted to do was go ahead and just give a brief overview.
Oh, and Jonathan. Sorry, Jonathan.
Oh, Jonathan.
We all know Jonathan.
Jonathan, what do you represent? A separate viewer?
The Jonathan viewer.
The Jonathan
Jonathan
viewer?
is a really big contributor to the Linden viewer.
Oh, okay. Got it.
And yeah, we can steal you. Brooke, just as a heads up, Checkhat is actually recording this, and we'll put it up on YouTube.
Oh, great.
If it's beneficial for you to send this out to people who didn't show up.
Wonderful. Yeah, we're doing a voice recording. Are you doing audio and video?
Doing audio and video, probably.
Oh, perfect. That's great. Much appreciated. We'll have both versions available then. So what I wanted to do was talk to you a little bit about the Viewer Managed Marketplace and why we have it and what the changes you're going to see are. So as you all know, we rolled out direct delivery 3 years ago. It's been a while. I've been here for over 4 years. So time starts to run together. And I've been focusing on Marketplace plus other Second Life items while I've been here. I forgot to introduce myself. So the reason that we're doing VMM is to improve the merchant experience when listing items and to help us support all of the use cases that Magic Box is supported. So right now, direct delivery does not support items that are no copy to the merchant who is selling those items. And as a result of the way that we did direct delivery, we also identified some weak points in the system and tried to minimize the number of places we move inventory between, basically. So what happens in direct delivery is you have to put things in your merchant outbox and then send that inventory to the marketplace, where the marketplace stores the inventory, and then when somebody purchases, it gets sent back to the main inventory service in the recipient's inventory. What we've done with Viewer Managed Marketplace is you will just be moving your items that will be listed on the marketplace into a special location in your inventory. And this is the marketplace listings floater, and the folder in there is called marketplace items. So this will limit the need to deal with the merchant outbox and potential sync issues when sending items to the marketplace. It will also make it much easier to update inventory on items that you currently have listed. So you'll notice above me on this really big box, I have a screenshot of the marketplace listings floater. And I apologize, it's a little bit blurry, but it should be big enough that you can see what's going on. And the reason that I took this snapshot is because I want to show you what the hierarchy looks like and explain to you what's going on. So you'll see that that I've got a couple of folders under marketplace listings, and those are called listing folders. A listing folder is basically what the marketplace is. You have to have a listing folder for each listing on the marketplace is basically the deal. And then directly underneath that listing folder, you'll see a folder that's open that's got 3 horizontal lines across it. And that is a version folder. You'll see Brooks VMM items V1. And then if you go look down, you'll see Brooks VMM items V2. What we heard when we talked to merchants about this is they have a lot of versions of things and they want an easy way to manage them and an easy way to update their listings with a new version. So we thought, why don't we give them the opportunity to not only put listed versions in their marketplace listings folder, but also to keep a history of older versions, just in case, for example, you need to roll back to something. You release a new version, there's a bug. While you're fixing it, you roll back to a previous version. So that's the main structure that you're going to see if you are a merchant who does not sell no copy items. So are there any questions so far on what I've gone over?
Yes,
If not,
is this going to replace the marketplace site? I mean, outbox rather.
That's a good question. So this is not meant to replace the marketplace site. It's meant to replace the inventory management aspect of a marketplace listing. So right now, if you go to the marketplace after you've sent items from your merchant outbox. You have to go in and associate that inventory with a listing or create a new listing. That will all be happening in the viewer going forward. Did that answer what you were looking for?
But it's not going to work the way it currently is at all.
That's correct.
Okay.
So basically, we're getting rid of the outbox, and all of the items that you have on the marketplace now will be put into this marketplace listings folder. So, and we'll do that migration for you if you would like us to do it. We are also providing a way for you to manually migrate. But yes, as is going on in chat, you will need to go to the marketplace to edit all of the information that you typically put on a listing, like the description and the price, the category, any keywords, etc.
So basically, in Viewer, you're managing the asset itself.
Yes.
But not the visible web content of the listing.
That is correct. So yeah, and as Worley points out, you can do all your editing in the viewer in the in your web browser in there if you have things set up that way.
What operation is Steel Toe? Can you elaborate on that?
So Steel Toe, do you want to?
Yes. Like changing the version of an item that's associated with a marketplace folder, adding stock to a listing. Brooke, I'm sure you can think of others. List and unlist, right? You deactivate a listing. So it should save some time on some operations, but as Brooke said, you have to go to the web for other certain things like you always have had to.
Yeah, and so the idea is, with the pieces of feedback that we've gotten from merchants is that if they want to add, if you all want to add a note card to a listing, you have to go through the process of adding the note card to a copy of your set of inventory items, put it in the merchant outbox, send it to the marketplace, then associate that with your listing.
What are the orders of the steps in that process? Starting from scratch, do you first put it through the viewer management system and then log into the marketplace and you'll see the content there, or do you log into the website first and then do the viewer end to see it there?
So on the if you want to create a new listing, you would just go ahead and add a folder to the marketplace listings folder, and then you can go through and create a marketplace listing from the viewer, and you will be able to go through and set up a version folder. And once you have all that set up, you'll be able to go into the marketplace and update the listing with any information that you need to. You'll be able to choose to list the listing from there, or you can just go back to the viewer and you'll be able to list from there.
Okay.
I would just like to say one quick thing. I started here without a beta marketplace store, and 5 minutes after I said that, I was done with creating a marketplace store and adding a listing using the marketplace listings. It looked very painless, very easy.
That's great. Thanks, guys. I meant sorry, guys. I just clicked in the wrong spot.
Click to work. I hate that.
I'm like, I should have turned it off before I started.
That's the first thing I turn off.
Okay, so anyway, I do want to get back and make sure I cover some of the bullet points. Can we maybe postpone any additional questions to a little bit later. Let's see. Let me get this moved over here. Okay. So the other thing that I wanted to talk about is this new functionality that we have with respect to stock folders. So you'll see I have these folders with a bunch of dots on them called the first DD item, and there's one under each version folder. And those allow you to group together multiple no copy items that are essentially stock units for selling no copy items. The idea here is that each folder will contain a set of items that should be the same. You can have different names for them. So, for example, if you're selling, something and you put a serial number or something like that on it, you'll be able to indicate that, and people will, feel like their item is special. And the other thing that we've done is your items. You'll figure this out eventually. We don't have a good way to completely identify exact same items. Items are going to get delivered randomly, which may be a scenario that people who are doing gotcha machines in Inworld could take advantage of, because basically it will randomly deliver one of the items in that folder. And if you want to, create some buzz around your listings, you'll be able to do that using the marketplace. So I'm sure there are a lot of things that we've thought of that merchants will end up using this for, and just like magic boxes, there is the potential for merchants to put different things in them, and again, we don't really want people to abuse it by putting one real item and a bunch of empty boxes in, but sometimes that can happen. So we will be, trying to be aware of things that we can do to prevent that going forward as we get feedback from you all. So that is the main set of items that I wanted to cover. It looks like I have another question. Do you have to make a folder for every item being sold? Yes, it does create a folder automatically. If I drag an item into the marketplace listings folder, it creates all the folders I need. So if I happen to drag in a no copy item, it will create a listing folder, a version folder, and a stock folder on top of it. We tried to make it as easy as possible because we realize that the folder hierarchy is not the most intuitive thing. If you want to create your own folder hierarchy in the marketplace listings folder, you're welcome to, and then drag individual items in, but you don't have to.
So those will be treated as system folders?
The marketplace listings folder is a system folder, yes.
Okay. Jonathan has a question there.
Yeah, will you disallow object from being put in? I'm not sure I understand what you mean by object.
Well, the default prim is object. The idea is to help reduce abuse, I suppose.
Got it. So you're saying prevent really an asset that's named object, and is is of prim type. Yeah, we haven't done that. It's if it becomes an abuse vector, we can consider doing something like that. Are there other questions about how this works? If there aren't, I did pull together some questions from the forum, but I'm not sure if I see anybody who posted them here, so maybe we should just
Well,
open...
it's worth ringing them through because, like I say, this is going to be recorded, and we're going to, see that.
That's true.
People see this, so.
Okay. So, I put all the questions in here. So some of them are, will the third-party viewers support this? And as you all can see, we have been communicating closely with the third-party viewer developers. And perhaps, Jessica, you would like to address that, at least for Firestorm.
Yeah, so actually I had a few questions in that regard. When you first came to us at the third-party viewer meeting about this project, you had mentioned that there would be a long transition period. Has that changed?
That has not changed.
Okay.
We are still, we're expecting to go to beta after February 14th, and then we're going to have, we'll have a period where people will try it out, and then, which will be at least a month, and then we'll have a period of time where we'll let people do manual migrations if they would like to when we come out of beta. Magic Box users will have to do manual migrations. So that's unfortunately, as we did with direct delivery, we don't have a way of getting things out of the Magic Boxes easily. So, but the listing creation process is really quick. So, and you'll be able to associate items that you put in the marketplace listings folder with an existing listing. And we have a process that is explained in our knowledge base article to tell you how to do that. And we'll also be producing, we're producing videos to explain how
Excellent.
these
Videos
things
are
work.
Really help people. I gotta say, this looks brilliant. So as far as uptake with us goes, Firestorm, so the reason I asked that question is because Oz had said in the invite where he invited, the email he sent out to the third-party viewer mailing list was that he thought that the time that it takes third-party viewers to adopt this might be a problem. So we've just put out, issued a release, and our next step right now is to merge in AIS v3 and everything else that you guys, Linden Lab, have released now. So that'll be our next step, and probably that's going to take a month or two. And by that time, I presume then this code will be available for us to also pull in. So what I'm trying to say is that it would be nice if our next release can contain everything up to date with Linden Lab. And on that note, the goal is going to be that the next release that we do will have this as well as everything else Linden Lab has released. But as far as uptake goes, so is this going to be part of the inventory floater, or is this going to have its own floater panel?
So this has its own floater panel, much like the Merchant Outbox does today.
But is it part of the inventory?
It is part of the inventory, but it will not be visible in the inventory, the main inventory floater. And the goal there,
like when it's separate, like with a separate viewer panel, that's easier for us to merge.
Yep.
So, yeah.
That's the way it is. So,
okay,
yay.
That's good. That's really good.
And obviously, we'll continue to keep third-party viewer developers in the loop. We've been attending their meetings, and we're doing our best to make sure we meet the needs of all of our customers. Okay, let's move on to one of the other questions. So there was one question about will this support no copy, no modify, and transferable items? And yes, it will. That's what the stock folder is for. One person asked, why do we limit the number of items that you can sell on the marketplace to 200? we actually don't limit the number of items you can sell on the marketplace to 200. We limit the number of items you can sell in one listing to 200. So if you want to sell more than 200 items in one listing, you have to put some of them in boxes. But we don't limit the number of listings you can have. And there was some feedback that the error messages in our knowledge base article are not as clear as they could be. We will review those. We generally try to put actionable here, this is not correct, please do this. But as this is an alpha, we haven't fully reviewed all of our error messages, and we will do so and try to improve them. If you have a particular error message or anything really that's related to this feature as far as wording that could be clearer, please do submit a JIRA. And let's see, there was some feedback that sounded like there's some frustration that we're expecting people to test this for us. We actually aren't.
Oh, him. I wouldn't put any weight behind that comment.
Okay. We really want, I mean, and I'll explain our goals behind this. We want merchants to be able to experience this so they understand how things will be changing, and so we can make it work better for everyone. And of course, then, the most important question is, will we provide a direct delivery burning bear? And my question to that is, would anybody like one?
If you mention Linden Bear, everybody wants a Linden Bear. It's unfortunate that Linden Lab doesn't do Linden Bears as much as you used to. It's a fan favorite.
I know, yeah. So maybe we'll take a look at making that happen.
I think all Lindens should go back to being required to make a bear. I think it should be a rule. In fact, I've wanted to do it with my team as well. But
oh, cool. Well, I will make sure to pass that on. I do have a bear on the marketplace, so
Oh, excellent! Because it used to be part of the process, right? It's kind of like your rite of passage into being a Linden. You have to make a bear.
It seems like that. When I started, a little over 4 years ago, I was strongly encouraged to make a bear. So, and it's fun. I mean, it's a great way to make sure
it's a great way to learn the building process as well.
Yeah.
Like for a new staff member to come in and who hasn't first been a resident and doesn't know the process of building, it's a good lesson on learning what residents face when trying to build things.
Yes, and I mean, obviously there are many other ways to do that, but providing one of our own bears is sort of a way to say, hey, we did this.
Yeah, and it's a fun way of doing it.
So are there, what I want to find out is, are there additional questions? Are there things from what you've seen that you're worried about with respect to VMM? And, what are the things that you like about it, so that we make sure that we keep them and or keep doing them if they're process related?
Well, this looks, I'll be honest, I haven't tried it myself. I've just been too busy. But, Mr. had just mentioned that he's just done it in the time he was standing here. And it was, that well streamlined. That's pretty impressive.
That's great. That's our goal.
I do have one question about it, though.
Sure.
And I don't know if it's because I haven't relogged or anything. Marketplace listings is a separate floater. Is that going to be incorporated into the main inventory at some point?
It is not. The plan is to have it be separate, and there are various reasons for that. One, it makes it really clear what your marketplace items are. So you have to really decide to open that floater in order to modify things. We're doing everything we can to prevent you from accidentally changing inventory on a listing without realizing it.
That makes sense.
And so, and we even have, when the first time you make a change to something like dragging an item in, we'll tell you you're making a change to an active listing. Do you want to see this message again? So really, if there are things that you all do that you feel like we should be warning you about, please let us know, because we tried to catch them all, but I'm sure we missed some. Are there other questions or feedback?
Brooke, in the new year, because I'd really like to see more content creators come to another meeting like this. In the new year, when you do your next meeting, will you let me help you get more people here?
Yes, that would be great.
And by that I mean I'll throw out a message of the day to content creators saying, look at, Linden Lab is trying to get your feedback and your help and your input on something, and nobody's showing up. So, if you're a content creator, get your butt in here.
That would be wonderful. Yeah, and we'll schedule another one for January.
Yeah, I think time of year probably right now is in part why there's not so many people here, but
yeah.
Basically tell them either get your butt in and give your feedback or shut the hell up later.
And it's wonderful if you all can say that for us.
Yeah, I know you can't say that. It's frustrating because I'm so happy to see Linden Lab making these changes where you're really being inclusive to user feedback, and I'm frustrated because now that you're doing it, you're not getting user feedback.
It's going to take time, and we'll keep showing that we're interested in it. So, any other questions, comments, feedback on this? So,
I have
go ahead,
comment. I have one comment, and I just want to say it's when we have meetings like this, it makes me very happy to be a part of Second Life, because it shows that the communication's going both ways, and we really are a community, which for me is the big thing about Second Life. It's the community aspect.
Did the region crash?
I didn't mean to scare everybody off.
Voice is still connected. Did anyone else get disconnected? I did.
Oh, people are getting disconnected.
Can you type in local? Nisa did as well.
I'll do a test in local.
I made 2 posts in local and they didn't show, and Nisa got disconnected.
Yep.
We're dead,
Looks
aren't
like
we?
regions got down, and a lot of people are already off voice.
Yeah.
I crashed the region.
Bad.
I'm just terrible.
Okay, I suppose we should relog then. I wonder how
I'm going to relog
stay connected. Okay, relogging.
Same here. Poof.
You broke.
I broke the beta grid.
Quite a bit of testing ourselves, and have really been banging at this. So, so feel free to do that. We also have a couple of forum posts where people can respond. and we'll have another feedback session going in January. Yes, there is going to be recording.
Oh, thanks, Kurt. I wasn't sure because it wasn't marked as triaged in the VMM project.
Okay. Thanks, Kurt. Okay.
Everybody open their... Sorry.
We might be able just to do a blog post linking to the recording that North did.
Great. And we will feel free to respond to that, to the forum post on the Second Life forums, and put a link up. We'll put our link for the audio up. Thanks, Sonia.
Everyone open the marketplace listings floater again and see if the region goes down again.
Oh, right.
Let's all do it at the same time.
That would actually be a really good test.
Well, maybe at the end of the meeting, everyone can
maybe at the end, yeah.
See if we get dinged.
So are there other questions or other pieces of feedback on this feature?
I have nothing more at the moment.
And I'm afraid to say anything because the last time I opened my mouth, boom.
You crashed the region?
Yeah, blame me. Get me banned from Second Life. That way Jess would have to fire me.
I'm not stepping in the middle of this one. Okay, well, thank you, everyone. If you are using the project viewer, feel free to open your Marketplace listings folder and see if we crash the region.
Yay! Okay. Oh, mine's not connecting because I teleported here from a non-VMM region, as did everyone else. So it's telling me to add my name to the Google form.
That's interesting. That's another.
So we'll have to relog here.
That's a good. That's a good thing for us to be aware of when we are actually testing this on production, because.
Yeah, If you don't roll this out to the whole of Agni at once, people are going to get this problem.
Yes, they will. So, so we should make sure we address that. Kurt, can you make sure we keep track of that?
Do you want a Jira issue for it? If you've not got one.
I can. I'm just handing it over to Kurt to help us make sure we track it. So we'll take a look at it. Well, just kidding. Yeah, exactly. Okay, well, thank you everyone who was able to come. And Jessica, yes, let's work more closely next time on.
I might surprise add you on Agni.
Okay.
And that way we can communicate there. And I got your email as well.
Great.
And whoever manages BetaGrid, please someone fix that Acme H parcel.
Acme H, yes. Yes, I will find out who can help out with that.
Well, when I logged in after the region went down, I got sent to Morris because that's where I have my home on a DT. If you don't have a home region set on a DT, you'll get set to one of those default telehub places, and that is one of those locations. So it's expected to log in there if the region you're trying to log into is down, and it was still down here for a while. So.
Well, it's just a matter to remove those ban lines up there and get out.
Yeah. Okay. So we'll follow up on that region and getting it cleared out.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks, everyone. We appreciate your attendance and feedback, and hope to hear more from more people going forward. Thanks, all.
Thank you. And I'm out of here.
Yeah, I'm off too.
Poof.
No, log back and see if we can crash the region.
World just wants to crash things.